J. Williams. Let's live life. We're back. Subs are going up. I thank all the new subscribers. Thank y'all. Without you, there's no me. Thank y'all for the views, the likes, the comments. Y'all are awesome. Let's keep this moving. So I wanted to do this video, and it's not so much for the guys that have done time. It's more or less for the guys that are going to do time, or the family members of people doing time. And that's, will the guards protect you while you're locked up? Are you safe? Now, this is an easy video for me, because this is, as being an ex-con, someone that's being, locked up off and on his whole life since I was a child. This is, it's like the back of my hand when it comes to answering these type of questions. I can personally say that answer became relevant to me at a young age. I was in the detention center. First fight I'd ever got in, locked up. Put me in a cell with a dude that was just a know-it-all. Didn't like the dude. He didn't like me. When we were in the cell, we were pretty quiet. We didn't talk to each other much. When we were out in the day room, we, kept our distance from each other. We just didn't like each other. Dude, went on years later to get a life sentence, but either way, we're in the cell one night and we're talking about something, and I'm really not trying to entertain this dude's conversation because I don't like him. Plus, I'm young, I'm new. I'm dealing with being separated from my family, the pending court charges. I'm just not trying to talk. Dude's like blabbering, just blah, 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 blah. And he's from around, close to where I live. Not my neighborhood, but not far from it. So I know a lot of what he's saying is bullshit. And I call him on it. I just get tired of hearing it. And I'm like, come on, man, stop wailing. That didn't happen. I know the dude you're talking about. You ain't beat him up. Like, if you ain't got a lie to kick it, man. Just chill out. Dude feels the type of way. He hops up off his bunk. And as soon as he does that, I hop up, because I'm not going to let him sneak me while I'm sitting down. This is right before count time. And dude gets in my face, and I push him. I shove him, chest check him, push him back the fuck up off me, what you trying to do. And the dude is standing there, and he grins, and he spits. And this wasn't like one of those big nasty, he just spits, and the mist hits me in the face. Before I can process what just happened, before I can say, all right, I need to fuck him up, before any of that happens, my internal instincts just take over, and I grab dude by his throat, running backwards, bang his head off the door. He kind of, pushes back. We go to the floor, and mind you now, I'm young, real young. I'm probably 130, 135 pounds. He's not much bigger than me. They tried to house us according to our ages. And I'm on top of this dude, but he's taller than me, and I'm just wailing on him. I'd already didn't like him. Now we done got to argue. We've had a couple other little arguments, and now you spit on me. So I'm just wailing on him. And this is where will the guards protect you comes into play. As I'm on top of him, just whooping his ass for spitting on me, I hear on the door with the walkie-talkie. It's the CO they're doing count. And he's looking through the little window on the door at me on top of this dude, beating him up. And all he says is, hey, y'all need to tighten up, man, chill. And the other guard looks in. We both kind of pause for a minute. And they walk off, and we go back to fighting. They didn't return. They didn't ask no questions. They were more concerned with going home than breaking up these two juveniles that are in there fighting. Now, this would be something that I saw and dealt with a lot in years to come. And people say, well, there's guards in there. They got to protect you. That's their job. Let me break some things down for you so that it makes sense. In the real world, we have the police. You have 911. You have cops. You see them patrolling every day. They drive by you. They, when they see a situation, will stop and handle it. That is not prison. Some guards, and I do mean some, will handle it. Some are just going to let it slide. And then the same thing goes back to the police thing. Say you live in a cell with a maniac, a dude that's just nuts. If you don't tell anybody what's going on in that cell, who knows? Same thing if you live in a house with a maniac. 911's right there, but if you don't call the police, how do they know? Now, the difference between this and that is, in the real world, if you're just an everyday average person, a housewife, or a husband, or someone that's elderly or young, whatever the case may be, and you're just an average citizen, an average person, and you call the cops, nobody second guesses you, nobody looks at you weird, they called the cops. In prison, in the penitentiary, in jail, once you're locked up, you're all put into the same category. And the moment you go to the guards with something that's going on between you and somebody else, you're a snitch. So you've done something to try to look out for yourself, your safety, maybe the well-being of this guy. If you're afraid of hurting him, you don't want to get in trouble, whatever the case may be. At the moment that you go to the guards and you tell them, hey, I'm having problems with this guy, and that makes it back to general population, everybody hears that, you are now a snitch. So you've gone to these guards and you've told them what's going on. And in most situations, they're going to do something about it because, now they have to. But now you're a snitch. I've seen situations where guys put themselves in situations and went to the guards for help, and it ended terribly. We had a dude in my pod that loved to gamble, and he was nice with the gambling table. But like I've told y'all, gambling is rigged. Eventually, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose big. You'll win small here, there. They're going to let you get some hands in and make you feel like, man, I made $30 a day. And then, boom, they're going to bust your ass for $300-$400 in one game. That's what happened to this guy. He had been winning off and on $5, $10 a day here and there. And then they dropped game on him and just wiped him out. Now, it's a no-brainer. The average inmate that has no job, no source of income, not a real good prison hustle, isn't going to be able to take care of a $300 bill. He goes to the guards, goes up to the third floor, talks to the sergeant and tells the sergeant, look, I need to check in. Means he's going to the hole because he's scared for his life. And we had so many people checking in at this time that they started this fucked up policy that if you want to check in, you got to give a name. You got to let us know something going on. So that lets everybody else know that, all right, that guy checked in, but he told on somebody to be able to go to the hole. So this guy tells the guards, look, I owe money. I ran up a gambling debt. I need to get up out of here, man. They're going to hurt me. They said I got X amount of time to pay it, or they're going to beat me up, poke me up, rob me, extort me, take all my stuff. And the guards laughed at him. They said, so you got yourself in a jam, and now you coming to us crying like a little bitch. Get on up out of here, or you know what you got to do. Tell on somebody. That knife we found at the microwave the other day, who did it belong to? Who stabbed dude, on the way to school yesterday? Well, who ran up in dude's cell and, who was involved in this? And he wouldn't tell anything. So he comes back down, and we already knew that he was up there trying to check in because there was a guy up there mopping the floors that overheard the whole conversation. The guards left the door open. Other inmates are walking by. This guy's sitting there scared. Everybody's hearing it. The sergeant walks down there in the pod in front of everybody and says, y'all gonna make us come in here and clean up shop, huh? Because y'all can't police y'all's own shit. Y'all got to get us out of our office to come down here to do y'all's job. And then they called dude's name out. I said, I don't know who he owes, but the bitch is trying to check in. Better watch your homeboy. Could you imagine, as a person, say you've never done time, and you're in there and you're scared for your life, and you go to these COs to look for help, and not only do they not help you, but then they come down and pretty much put you on blast in front of 80-some people that you just went up there telling on the people that you were gambling with, and tried to check into the hole. They beat this dude as soon as they left out the pod to a pulp. And then anything he got sent in from the streets, they took. And this went on for a while until a captain saw his face and saw all the fresh bruises and old bruises, at which point they then helped him. But they weren't helping him when he was wearing those ass whoopings and he was in there scared and shitting on himself and being beat up day in and day out. They weren't there to help him. A lot of guards seen the damage, seen the bruises, seen the knots and the cuts on him, and they didn't help him. You know, I did time in Philly, and I was at a place called the House of Corrections, and I was on F tier, and the way the House of Corrections set up, it's just a long ass corridor, and the place was built by Quakers, which were short guys. So your door is really short. I mean, probably about 5 foot, and it's kind of, you know, rounded off at the top. Now you got cells down both sides. From one cell to the cell in front of it is probably maybe 9 feet gap, and just a long corridor down to the end with a couple old school TVs hanging up, and just these old, dingy, nasty, as close to a dungeon as you can come to is what the House of Corrections was. So I was in there on a parole violation, had been in there 3 or 4 months, and we had a guard that sat all the way at the front when you come in, and he sat at a little desk. He never got up and walked towards the back, which was a long walk, probably 150, 200 feet. He just stayed at the very front of this corridor all day, was going to do the bare minimum. He was a street dude. You know, he was involved in things he shouldn't have been involved in with the inmates. Minded his business. I'd seen fights pop off 10 feet in front of him, and he'd sit there and watch it and then go back to what he was doing. Now, on this particular day, I think I was making something to eat, and they got these skinny tables down the middle with these wooden benches attached to the table. And I'm sitting there and I'm making something to eat with a couple dudes, my cellmate, a couple other dudes I knew. And this tall, skinny black guy walks in. And when he walks in, when you hear the gate pop, everybody looks up front to see who it is. And instantly, man, I hear all these dudes like, oh, we got his bitch ass now. Oh, they done messed up. Dude tells the CO as he sees these other guys back there, I can't go back there, man. They gonna hurt me. CO tells him, you better man up. I don't know what to tell you. We handle our own here. You better man up. Dude's like, I'm refusing to go in. Well, you don't have that option. You don't carry your ass to the back. He goes ahead and he goes to the back, and these dudes just take this dude to the ringer. They beat him, stomped him, like just messed him up to the point that there was no, I ain't gonna say I felt bad for him because I didn't know what he had done. But it's just a scary feeling to know that they could have killed that dude if they wanted to. And the guard sat up front. This dude was screaming for help. He sat up front. He looked down the tier at everybody jumping, smashing his head, kicking his face in, sitting on top of him, punching him. And this is, you're talking 7, 8 guys on one. When he was done, when they were done, the guy got up, walked to the front, and he didn't really resemble a human. He was so just discombobulated and disfigured from the beating. And he was bleeding everywhere. He used the bathroom all over himself. You could see it, you could smell it. And he just had blood trail behind him as he was walking. Got to the front, told the guard was like, I already told you we handle your own. So he grabbed the bars and he started rattling them. Help me, help me, help me. And another female guard happened to hear his cry for help. Came over, popped the gate, let him out. Questioned the guard there, and he was like, I didn't see nothing. They must have done it in the cell. Now, you're under the impression when you go in, these guards are going to make sure you're safe. You're going to get home in one piece. Nothing's going to happen. There are some good guards. There are some guards that are there to protect you, there to do their job. But for the majority of them, they are undereducated. Places I've been, the majority of them were just there for a paycheck. You got your super cops, but like I said, the majority. And they really don't care what happens to you. God forbid you get a guard that don't like you, that helps cover it up, doesn't listen to your cries for help. You know, it boils down to this. You and only you will protect you while you're locked up. If somebody sees something taking place and it jumps off right in front of a bunch of different COs, oh, they're going to come to your aid and they're going to stop it. But like I said in the beginning of the video, it's kind of like domestic violence when it comes to those cells and those dorms. If the police don't know there's something going on in the house, how can they save you unless you call them? How can you call them when calling them puts a target on your back for everybody else in there to see? My advice to y'all is enjoy the free world, live your best life. I could probably do 10 parts on this video, but I would like to answer any questions y'all got. You know, I just like to add the stories in so y'all know what it is. But y'all do know what it is. It's Jay Williams. Let's live life. Them guards can't save your ass. Stay out here. Stay free. Don't commit crimes. To all my real ones and awesome real ones, because y'all watching me. Y'all know how we do it around here, man. Salute.